Hey guys, it's me, Jimmy Champane, and today I'm going to be talking about Nioh. And this is going to be a quick little video because I've actually been playing it all night. I'm going to be writing a review for it for Bloody Disgusting, but I'm nowhere near beating it because I just got it on Wednesday. So if today's Thursday, I got it yesterday. It's like a weird thing. I got it the day before this video was posting, and so I'm obviously nowhere near beating it, but I really like it so far. And this video was going to be longer, but I've been playing it all night, so I figured I'd get a quick video in so I can post it as soon as you're allowed to post something for the game. So basically, if you haven't heard of Nioh before, it's Team Ninja's kind of like comeback game. They did Ninja Gaiden 3, and that wasn't very good. And then they did a different version of that for the Wii U, which was actually pretty good. And it was still not great. It didn't live up to, you know, Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden Black or Ninja Gaiden 2 or any of those older, really hardcore action games that they're known for. And then they made Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, which is just not very good either. So they really needed to make a comeback game, and from what I've played, this is it. So the biggest difference here is the controls. If you've played Souls games before, it's going to be a little weird to play at first, but once you realize that it feels exactly the same, even with a different control scheme, you're going to be totally fine. It actually pulls more from Bloodborne than Dark Souls, I really think, if you ask me. But anyways, instead of using R1 and L1 to attack, you're using square and triangle. Square is your light attack, and triangle is your heavy attack. And the way they set up the controls really works with these core systems that they built on top of the Dark Souls systems that I think work really well. So you can switch weapons whenever you want by holding R1 and flipping the D-pad left and right or up and down. Up and down will switch your ranged weapon, and you have a gun like a musket or a bow and arrow, and then melee weapon will be left and right, and you can switch back and forth super easily, which is awesome during combat. And then on top of that, if you hold, while you're holding R1, you can use the face buttons to change stance. So your melee weapon has 3 stances. You have a high stance, a medium stance, like a middle stance, and a low stance. And the enemies in this game will change their stance too. So it's like kind of like For Honor, but a little bit lighter. It's this new little ripple effect on the Dark Souls combat that I think works really well. And if you haven't heard of this game before, it takes place in this weird fictionalized version of feudal Japan. It actually starts in London, and the main character is Western, and he goes to the Far East to just basically kill a guy. But it has a way heavier emphasis on story than Dark Souls. Like, the story is directly in your face, and I think that's good. It's different in a lot of the right ways, and that's a big one, I think, that really sets it apart. And the story is unobtrusive, and the cutscenes look great. In terms of boss fights, I have only fought the first real boss, and it was hard. Like, I died a few times, but it was really fun, and it's fresh and exciting, and I really like that. Something that I've noticed is that it is a lot harder, I think, than Dark Souls. It definitely matches up with Bloodborne, but I'm having way more trouble with Nioh so far than I was having with Bloodborne. Something else that's kind of bothering me about it is they have these shrines instead of bonfires. The placement in that is kind of weird. They actually copy Dark Souls a bit, and they'll like kick the ladder down to open up a new area that you can get to from the beginning shrine. Stuff like that I think is really cool. It doesn't feel like a ripoff, it's just like a nod, and that's really cool to see right in the beginning of the game. But it is harder, and you'll go some pretty far stretches before you're going to be able to go back to a shrine and level up, which is kind of annoying because there's been a lot of times where there's like mini boss enemies that pop up right in the middle of the map, and you think if you beat them you're going to get to a shrine and be able to level up a bit, but no, not really. You never really have that reward moment. So that's just something I've noticed that's kind of bothering me at the beginning of the game. Also, the loot system is kind of weird. There's multiple versions of every weapon. Like, the drop rate in this game is high, and everything has different stats. So there's no real special weapons. You really get special weapons from bosses and mini bosses and special armor, but you're really going to be able to switch things out on the fly. And the different items will have buffs like higher equipment drop rate, higher rare weapon drop rate, stuff like that. But really, you're going to be sticking with your highest damage item because you're going to want to output the highest damage while you're playing, which is totally understandable. But like I said, I'm really early. I played about 3 or 4 hours of the game, which I'm assuming is a lot longer than that, and I'm really liking it. So if you're someone who's into Dark Souls, into Bloodborne, and you're looking for that next big step, this is probably it. from what I played, I really like it. It feels very fine-tuned. It feels like a lot of effort was put into it from Team Ninja. Like, they really want to make a statement with this game, and they're doing it. It's not just a Dark Souls clone. It's inspired by Dark Souls, but it is its own thing. And I think that's like the best thing you can say about it, because they kind of wear that Dark Souls inspiration on their sleeve anyway. So me saying that it's inspired by it and not ripping off it is what I think you'd really want to hear right about now. So if you're on the fence about Nioh, picking it up this Tuesday, I will have a full review up on Bloody Disgusting probably by Tuesday if I can get far enough in the game or beat it by the time it comes out. You'll definitely see a written review, but I just want to put out this first impressions video and tell you that first impressions are really good. I'm really liking it. I'm going to go back. This is going to be my big weekend game, and I'm really glad that Sony decided to publish this all over the world except in Japan, where I think Tecmo Koei is publishing it. So yeah, that's my thoughts so far on Nioh. If you want to hear some more thoughts on Nioh, you should let me know down in the comments. I would really appreciate it if you could share this video on any relevant social media, like anything you use. And if you are watching this video, let me know. I know I've been getting consistently a lot of views lately, so if you're watching this video, I want to hear from you, because no one really comments, and I'd really like to talk to you guys. So make sure you talk to me down in the comments, or you can find me on Twitter at JimmyChampane. My Snap code's going to be in the last 20 seconds, so you can add me on Snapchat, and I'm also on Instagram at JimmyChampane. So I think that about covers it, guys. As always, I'm Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.